The film begins with a man in a hurry. He rushes into a store to buy some things and searches for a place he wants to go. Showing a map to the store owner, he asks about a location called Darylstan. The store owner tells him the address but warns him not to go there, saying, "Whoever goes there never comes back." Suddenly, the man's picture appears on TV, with a report stating that he is wanted and that the police are searching for him. He is, in fact, a criminal with a long history of crimes. Seeing this, the store owner is shocked. But before he can act, the criminal shoots him and escapes, heading toward Darylstan. The store owner had mentioned that no one returns from Darylstan, and rumors say it's haunted by a terrifying, meat-eating monster who spares no one that comes near it. As the criminal reaches Darylstan, his car's tire suddenly gets punctured. Stepping out, he finds a thorn lodged in the tire, which he removes and keeps with him. After fixing the tire, he continues onward until he spots an empty house. He goes inside to explore and finds a room filled with paintings and a bed, suggesting that someone might have been living there. But who would live in such a dangerous place? The criminal considers it briefly but decides to ignore it. As he sits down to rest, he hears footsteps approaching, causing him to jump up. Looking through a hole in the wall, he sees a shadowy figure coming towards him, wielding an axe. The criminal fires his gun at the wall, hoping to kill the intruder, but the axe keeps swinging. Terrified, he tries to escape, but a hidden nail in the ground pierces his foot, causing him immense pain and slowing him down. As he struggles to flee, he realizes the axe-wielding figure is pursuing him. He hides behind a tree, hoping to evade capture, but the killer, somehow, climbs up the tree and ambushes him from above, striking his head with the axe and killing him instantly. As the killer steps into view, it's revealed to be a woman with a scarred face hidden behind a mask. She drags the criminal's body back to her house and begins to eat his flesh. She then resets the nail trap, preparing it for her next victim. This woman, in fact, is the rumored monster of Darylstan. The story continues with Mina, the monster girl who consumes human flesh. After finishing with the criminal, she goes to his car to search for anything useful. While doing so, she notices a young boy nearby, calling out the criminal's name. Mina considers eating him, but when she realizes he is blind, she leaves him alone. The boy, named Alex, calls out for the criminal, unaware that Mina has already killed him. Instead of telling him the truth, Mina lies, saying he left but will return soon. Feeling sympathy for Alex, she takes him with her, gives him dry clothes, and lets him rest for the night. The next morning, a police officer arrives at Darylstan to find the criminal. Spotting the abandoned car and then Alex, who is blind, he questions him about the criminal. Alex, not knowing the criminal is dead, tells the officer he's inside, as Mina had told him. When the officer enters the house, Mina, in her monstrous form, attacks him, blinding him by biting his eyes and then killing him by biting his throat. Before he dies, the officer forgets to alert his backup team. Furious, Mina runs back to Alex, intending to kill him too. She finally reveals the truth: the criminal is dead, and she killed him. Though skeptical at first, Alex listens to her. Holding an axe, she nearly strikes him, but stops when she sees his terrified expression. Alex pleads with her, saying he needs to call someone who can come rescue him. He tells her that if the criminal is truly dead, he's in danger, as the criminal's friends may come for him. He manages to convince Mina of his situation, and she reluctantly agrees to help him. As they walk together, she tells Alex about a curse in Devil's Den. A monster resides there, who consumes masks and has sharp teeth that can tear through anything. She is, in fact, describing herself. Soon, the police arrive with dogs, forcing Alex and Mina to hide in a nearby cave. One of the dogs ventures close, but Mina scares it off by revealing her terrifying face, and it flees in fear. Deciding to spend the night in the cave, they share their stories with each other. Alex confides that his eyes were once fine, but the criminal kidnapped him, tortured him, and burned out his eyes. Mina, in turn, tells him a bit about her own tragic past. That night, Mina dreams of the events that scarred her. After her father's death, her mother started seeing a terrible man, a cruel, beastly person in human form. He abused Mina repeatedly, and one day, when she tried to stop his advances, he attacked her in a fit of rage. Slashing her face with a sharp weapon, he left her badly disfigured and, thinking she was dead, buried her alive. She miraculously survived, but the trauma and disfigurement turned her into the monster she is today. Awakening from this nightmare, Mina decides to find food for Alex. While searching, she sees 3 men nearby and climbs a tree to listen in on their conversation. She notices that one of them has a phone. They've come to find Alex and the criminal, discussing how they plan to hand them over to the police to collect a reward. The police had put a reward on capturing the criminal and Alex, which is why so many people were searching for them. Knowing this, Mina decides to leave Alex with 3 men she encounters in the jungle, hoping they would take him to his family. However, when the men approach, Alex hesitates and begins shouting Mina's name. One of the men remarks that he remembers hearing about Mina, a girl who came to Devil's Den years ago. Realizing that the monster girl is actually Mina, Alex's suspicions are confirmed. At that moment, Mina appears and swiftly kills one of the men by striking his neck with an axe. She then fights fiercely with the second man, suffering injuries herself but ultimately defeating him as well. The third man manages to snap a photo of her before fleeing, but he's soon struck by an oncoming car, resulting in his death. Mina retrieves the phone from him and gives it to Alex, urging him to make the call he wanted so he can finally go home. Alex dials the number, but then decides to end the call before anyone answers. Realizing he no longer wants to leave, he feels a connection with Mina, as they both had endured extremely difficult lives. The two began to understand each other on a deeper level, with a bond formed from their shared experiences. Mina leads Alex to a house to find him some food. As they enter, an elderly woman confronts Mina with a gun, but Alex quickly intervenes, attacking the woman from behind with a knife and killing her. This house belonged to a couple who were also searching for the criminal and Alex to claim the reward, leaving their elderly mother alone, whom Alex had now killed. Afterward, Mina offers Alex some soup. As they sit together, Mina notices that she is beginning to feel emotions she hasn't experienced in a long time. Alex's kindness and companionship bring about a subtle change in her. She even attempts to drink the soup herself, but finds she cannot, as she is used to consuming only meat. Later, Mina decides to call the same number Alex had dialed. She discovers it belongs to Alex's mother, who has been grieving since Alex was kidnapped. Listening to her motherly cries, Mina quietly hangs up the phone, choosing not to tell Alex about it. She knows the news would only make him sad, and perhaps for the first time, Mina feels a sense of compassion and understanding. And just like that, Mina goes to sleep, where she has another dream, a continuation of her story. In this dream, she remembers regaining consciousness and finding herself buried in the ground. Somehow, with newfound powers, she manages to dig her way out. Driven by anger and a thirst for revenge, she returns to her house and kills her mother, believing that her mother's friend's actions were partly her fault. After this, she also kills her mother's friend, marking the beginning of her transformation into a monster. When Mina wakes up, she sees some people taking Alex away in a car. She starts chasing the car, clinging to it with her supernatural strength. Her presence causes the car to lose control and overturn. Though the passengers survive, they're badly injured. A woman in the car calls the police, but Mina refrains from harming her, as she has now changed. Alex, frightened, calls out for his mother just as a child would in distress. Seeing this, Mina reassures him, saying, "Calm down. I am here with you. No harm will come to you, even if I'm gone." With that, Mina leaves Alex alone, knowing that the police will soon arrive after the woman's call. When the police arrive, they take Alex with them. As the car drives away, Alex shouts Mina's name, hoping to see her again. The next morning, Mina returns to the same empty house, collects her belongings, and leaves. She has decided to live a normal life again. It's evident that she has changed. She even began eating vegetables for Alex's sake and stopped eating meat. She leaves her axe, her weapon of terror, behind in the house, symbolizing her complete transformation. Once a monster, she is now a changed person, filled with love and compassion after meeting Alex. As she walks down the road, a woman sees her and stops to offer a lift. Mina accepts and gets into the car. The woman notices Mina's face, now completely healed, as the monster within her has vanished. Mina has realized that not everyone is the same, and she no longer feels the urge to harm innocent people. Her revenge was complete, and she now chooses to live a life free from violence. With this, the story concludes, marking the end of Mina's journey from monster to redemption.